Welcome to the 5th DraftSight tutorial. In this tutorial, we will be taking a quick look at how to take measurements in DraftSight. Then we will move on to importing files, such as the cutout files that sink manufacturers provide. One of the quickest ways to find the dimension is to draw a line and reference the coordinate display found in the status bar. However, the default setting for the coordinate display is to show absolute Cartesian coordinates, which won't help us take measurements. To change that, we first need to start a line, which I will click on the line tool, and I'll start my line here, and notice that I have entity snapping on. I need my line to snap exactly to the end point of this line so that my measurement is accurate. And now that I've started a line, I can go down to the coordinate display, right click on it, and select relative. Now the coordinate display will show relative coordinates relative to my starting point. So I can move up to the top of this entity, and it snaps on, and I can see that my entity, this line, is 26 units long. And once I've made my measurement, I'll hit the escape button to exit out of the line command since I don't want to draw a line. Alternatively, we could use the gestDistance tool. The gestDistance tool is found in Tools, Inquiry, gestDistance. First, you're prompted to specify a start point, the beginning of your line, and then an end point, the end of your measurement. And as you can see in the command window, the measurement was outputted. Here it is, distance 26 units. What's nice about the gestDistance tool is that the measurement is written down, whereas the coordinate display changes as soon as you move the mouse. Now let's take a look at importing files into DraftSight. Many sink manufacturers put downloadable CAD files of sink cutout templates on their websites. These templates are in the DXF file format, which can be opened in DraftSight. For example, if I wanted to find a template of the Kohler undertone K3177, I would go to Firefox and I would Google Kohler 3177 and then the letters DXF since I want to find the CAD file. And I'm going to hit enter. And as you can see, the first result is for the Kohler 3177. I can click here. Some of the sink manufacturers hide their links to their DXF files in tabs called installers, for example, or fabricators. On other web pages, like Kohler's, it's a little more straightforward. Let me scroll down. As you can see, here is a link to the cutout template. There are also links to other CAD files, so be sure you select the cutout template. I'm going to click it. I'm going to select Save File and then OK. And the file has begun downloading. Once it's finished, I'll click here. I'll click on the file, and then I'll go back to DraftSight. As you can see, the sink template file has opened up in DraftSight. The first thing we need to do is to find out the units that are used in this drawing. Let me zoom in here. This is showing that this dimension is 29 inches and 1/4 or 74.3 centimeters. And we need to verify that this is drawn in the same units that we will be using to draw our countertop. So I'll zoom out. I will go to Tools, Inquiry, gestDistance, and take a measurement here. I'll take a measurement of this known distance. We know this is 29.25 inches or 74.3 centimeters. Now I'll click. As you can see, it is 29.25. That's the distance that it's showing, which corresponds with the measurement in inches. So we know that this drawing is in inches. Had this not been drawn in inches, we would have needed to either convert the drawing by scaling it, or were it in millimeters, we could have first scaled the drawing of our countertop to millimeters and then copy the cutout into the countertop drawing. So now that we've discovered the units in this drawing, we're ready to clean it up and prepare it for CAM. It is our suggestion that you copy what you need out of this file and paste it into another file, even if it's just a new and empty file. This is a fail-safe method that prevents unwanted entities from being sent from this CAD program to the CAM program and causing errors later on. So now we need to select the cutout we want, and I'll zoom in here for the explanation of the cutout. I can cut out on this line for a reveal or this line for no reveal. I'm going to use the no reveal cutout line. So now I need to select the no reveal line so that I can copy it and paste it into a new drawing. Now this won't be very easy since there are many other entities here that I have to work around. And some of these entities are actually overlapping. As you can see, this dimension line overlaps with this section of the cutout line. so it'd be easy to inadvertently select lines that I don't want to use to create cuts in the CAM program. So to make this easier, we will clean up the drawing using layers. Layers are a way to organize entities. For example, it is common to have dimension lines on a separate layer from the drawing, and comments on yet another layer. The visibility of individual layers can be changed. For example, we can hide the dimensions by making the dimension layer invisible. So, to help us zero in on the entities we wish to copy, we will only show the layer on which the entities are. First, we need to see which layers the entities are on. To do this, I will select one of the entities that makes up the cutout, and then I will go to Tools, Inquiry, and I will use the Get Properties command. As you can see, the Get Properties tool is telling me that the cutout is on the curve layer. So now I'll close this window and we can turn off the other layers. To do this, we will go to Format, Layers. Now I'll right click on Curve, select Activate Layer. Then I'll right click again and specify all but active. This will select all of the other layers. Then lastly, I'm going to click on one of these green dots on the Show column to hide the other layers. Now I'm going to click OK. As you can see, all the other layers were hidden, and the only entities showing are the two cutouts and a dashed line representing the outer edge of the sink. So now I can select the entities that I want, which will be all of the entities on this inner cutout. Okay, now that all of the entities have been selected, I will right click and select Copy. Now I will go to the other drawing I have open already, right here, and I will paste the sink cutout into this drawing. I'll do that by right clicking and selecting Paste or Paste as Block. Let me demonstrate quickly the difference between these two commands. First I'll paste. Now I'll create another one using Paste as Block. Put it right here beside the first. Now I'll zoom in on these and I'll select both of them. Now you can see on the left, the one that I simply pasted, it is broken up into many entities. The one on the right is treated as a single block, as a group. With all the entities in one single group, it's a little bit easier to move and arrange this cutout. And if I would ever need to modify only a specific entity in this block, I could go to Explode, and now it's broken up into smaller pieces just like the other one. I'm going to undo that. Then I'm going to delete this one, which I won't be using, and I'll select this. So now I can move it to the location where I would like to put it, and since it's a corner sink, I'm going to have to rotate it. So I will select the Rotate tool, specify a pivot point, a rotation angle, and then I will draw a small construction line here so I can place my sink cutout in the correct location. I would like my sink to be centered on this 45 here, so I will make a line. I will use relative polar coordinates to make a line that is 4 units long at a 135-degree angle to make it perpendicular. I'll hit enter to exit out. Next I will select my sink cutout, execute the move command, and I'll grab onto the sink at the midpoint and move it over and attach it here to the end point of my construction line. Now I can delete my construction line, and there it is. The sink is 4 inches in and centered. Now all I need to do is draw the faucet hole, and I will be ready to send it to CAM. This will conclude the tutorial.